Hello everyone, my name is Andre and today we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode 30. This time it's called Soar. So I've been receiving a couple of comments talking about, Joey and Joey's character development throughout the series. And you guys have told me that what's currently happening is Joey realized that he's not up to par with Yugi and the others, and he wants to feel himself, emancipate himself, basically, make himself stronger, and this is basically the underdog story for Joey. After reading those comments, I gave it a little bit of thought, and I thought about what we have watched and about what you guys had said regarding that, and I have to say that if that is the case, still, my comment from last episode saying that Joey should have defeated the guy regardless of him being a cheater or not still holds true. Joey's victory last episode followed a formula that's very simple. Guy was cheating, utilizing a underhanded ability by having people from a viewpoint watch the cards of his opponents and telling him through an earpiece. So that's how he was cheating. Joey, whilst the guy was cheating, was losing. But when Mokuba stepped in and stopped the cheating from happening, that's when Joey started to win. Now, the problem with this is that it doesn't give Joey as much of a win as you might think, and as you guys started saying in the comments below. Why? Simple. If Joey had won, regardless of the guy being a cheater or not, this would start to show that, again, like one of you guys said in the comments below, with hard work, strategy, and experience, he was actually a good duelist, and he was actually going to become a good duelist. But without that, what we just saw is a battle against a nobody, in which Joey only won because he was caught cheating. Not because Joey's ability was better than his opponent. Not at all. It's because Joey, against the cheater, he just was losing, and then when he stopped cheating, he won. And you can tell me, okay, but once it was a fair game, Joey started to win. Fair enough, but we don't know how weak that other guy truly was, without cheating. We don't know how weak or how strong. So how impressive his battle is, truly, is very relative. He could have gotten, even if he's like really high up on the brackets and he's like a great player, he could have gotten there by cheating, by continuously cheating and never being caught. And because of that, we don't know, because he's a cheater, we don't know how strong he actually is because he was cheating. Now, again, like I was saying, if Joey had won whilst he was cheating, that would prove that Joey is actually really strong and that his ability, can even beat someone who's using, underhanded and mean and kind of unfair advantages. But the fact that he was losing until these advantages were taken away from his opponent doesn't show much about his character, and hopefully that's something that the Abridged series corrects, and hopefully it's something that Yu-Gi-Oh itself corrects throughout the episodes, because again, it, instead of uplifting Joey, it undermines him as the guy who can only beat those who are really weak. So it takes away from his character instead of giving to his character. At least, I think that's the only interpretation possible from this. And I really want other characters besides Yugi, to be legitimately good. With that said, let's begin, shall we? Guys, as always, please don't forget to show your support. Little Kuriboh, links are in the description below. And if you don't mind, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps this channel a lot. And it really means a lot to me. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't like it. So please do subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @AndreRosaYT. Links are in the description below as well. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged Series. According to Wikipedia, we don't exist. Dinsdale.
Hey, punk! This card isn't Graceful Charity, it's Graceful Dice.
Really? I guess I got them confused. But you can't really blame me, they're very similar.
Like hell they are. Graceful Dice has a dice on it, whereas Graceful Charity does not have a dice. You, sir,
Fair
are
enough.
a fool.
Stop fighting!
Who the hell are you?
I'm the commissioner for the Battle City tournament. What I say goes. And I say you have to buy me a pet rabbit because my big brother won't let me have one.
Nuts to your rabbit.
Oh, Mokuba, are you abusing your position of power again?
Seto!
Kaiba!
Sorry if my brother's bothering you. He does that a lot. To show my sympathy, I'd like to offer you all the trading cards you'll ever need, but only if you duel me in return.
This couldn't possibly be some form of trap. I accept.
Yes.
I only need to play a single card, even though summoning an Egyptian god requires me to sacrifice monsters, and is therefore impossible to do in the first turn. Now you get to enjoy years of painful and upsetting therapy. Come on, Mokuba, let's go get you that pet tarantula.
You mean rabbit, right, Seto?
You're
Yes.
getting a tarantula and you will like it.
Of course. I wouldn't.
No.
Yes! 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 Fresh Prince of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fucking hell, yes. Yes. Yeah, how he summoned the Egyptian god in turn 1, we can always assume that the battle took a while, but we just saw the Egyptian god summoning, which wouldn't necessarily be wrong. In the show, and because this is a show and not an actual tournament, I actually allow these types of gaffes in the card games to pass. The same thing with, you know, the illegal card and stuff like that. You allow these types of things to pass because they would just stall the action. If you were actually to see the entirety of the game fully, you know, being played legitimately, it would actually get somewhat boring, possibly. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure on this one, because, you know, you would actually have to see a tournament like this happening, you know, with the holograms and the stuff like that, in order to truly be sure that it would be kind of boring to see, you know, the game being played right. However, I do assume that it would get kind of old and boring. Like, maybe the first games would be fun to watch, but then it would get kind of repetitive. And even the holograms wouldn't save it. So I understand why they would, you know, cut the battles to be shorter and more action-packed, you know, with bigger, better monsters and cooler monsters instead of the weaker monsters that don't really do much damage or have much interesting abilities. I understand that. However, I do find it hilarious that, considering the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged world and story up until now, this tournament was all about playing it fair by the rules. The rules that apparently not even the robot could understand. And Seto was trying to learn the rules and fight by the rules. And just now we saw him summon an Egyptian god without sacrificing any cards that we had seen at the very least. But he still needs to sacrifice cards on that are on the field, which is impossible considering that it was turn 1. So I find it hilarious that we get to see the fucking summoning of the Egyptian god on turn 1 when Seto was so adamant a couple of episodes ago about being able to play by the rules and that being the only way that he could be better than Yugi.
This is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute. Just sit down, James. I'll tell you how I became the undisputed king of card games.
The Fresh Pharaoh of Bel-Air. Yeah, now that's better. The Fresh Pharaoh of Bel-Air. I was saying the Fresh Prince of card. No, the Fresh Prince of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's also not bad. The Fresh Prince of Card Games, the Fresh Pharaoh of Card Games, the Fresh Pharaoh of Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, the Fresh Pharaoh of Egypt. They work, but this might be the better one.
Hey, a
magic show. This looks slightly less depressing than watching Joey duel.
Hello, Yugi. We've been expecting
It's
you.
a clown.
This way, my master is waiting.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with gay clown. I have a bad feeling about this.
Seto,
What?
Yugi just dropped off our sensors. We can't locate him. He's disappeared.
Somehow this is your fault. If I
Yes,
wasn't
of course.
busy buying you a scorpion, this never would have happened.
But I thought we were getting a tarantula.
It's
You're
always
getting
about
us.
what you want, isn't it, Mokuba?
Okay, where am I now?
Wow, Seto, you're a great brother.
Hello, Yugi. Wanna play a little game?
I can do that. I can do that. Give me a second.
You
Yeah, let's.
to be kidding me.
It's no joke, Yugi. My name is
He has
Arcana.
two-
Steve Arcana.
two,
and soon your dark magician
magicians,
will
two
belong
dark
to me.
magicians.
That's about as likely as
He
Pakistan
collected them.
elected.
Yes, I was talking with my friend about. He watched me edit one of the videos, and he loves Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I've talked about him on this channel a few times. So he loves Yu-Gi-Oh, and because of that, he was watching me edit one of the videos, and he actually mentioned this guy. And he mentioned that he had a couple dark magicians, and I just recalled who this guy is. He collected dark magicians. That's why he had a lot of them. He collected different dark magician cards. Yes.
Having a satisfying conclusion.
I have special orders from my mysterious employer to make this a real spectacle.
Oh, he's a rare
This
hunter.
show has maybe 2 villains. It hardly takes a genius to figure out you're working for Marek.
Behold, I have this duel arena specially designed for our match. Now, let's begin by shuffling our cards in a neat
But see, it's obvious that he's going to lose. And again, that's the problem. You know, we know that Yugi can't lose Dark Magician right now, and he's probably not going to lose against this guy. If he did, I'll legitimately be surprised if he actually does lose. And if he does lose, it will make the Rare Hunter seem like an actual threat. But I don't think he's going to lose. I legitimately think he's going to win. Which, again, seeing the goons, even if they are the goons, seeing them only lose undermines them so much that it makes them feel like they are just useless.
needlessly dramatic fashion.
Way ahead of you.
You know, there's an old saying amongst high rollers and card sharks. Always trust your opponents, but only after you've cut their deck.
Yeah, well, here's another saying. Go f yourself, Arcana.
You'll regret those words once you realize that this duel is about more than cards. It's also about survival. Because in case you hadn't already guessed, this episode is a parody of the Saw franchise.
This already happened in episode 10.
These are dark
I
energy discs.
guess it did.
Every time you lose life points, the disc will move closer to your body.
Yeah, so
You're
Yugi
trying
has to
slice
win.
off my legs and make me bleed to death? That's a little hardcore for a kids show, isn't it?
The dark energy disc is totally harmless. All it will do is send your immortal soul to the shadow realm. Your physical body will remain unharmed.
Honestly, are there no depths to which 4 kids won't sink?
Don't
Yes.
worry, Mokuba. My harem
Yes,
of
I
female
guess
robots
not.
will locate Yugi in no time.
You have a harem, Seto?
Yes, I created them specifically so that I could shun them with my cold indifference.
Big Bro, you're kind of like the anime version of Scrooge McDuck.
Yes.
Only much less fluffy.
I know.
Since you're such a big fan of plot twists, you're going to love my next card. Behold, the first appearance of the Dark Magician Girl, inspiring countless failed attempts at cosplaying the world over.
Yes, yes, so many Dark Magician girls cosplay that don't really look good. But I've seen a few that actually work, though. Somewhere a Yu-Gi-Oh fan is touching himself inappropriately. This applies to any situation.
Your plot twists pale in comparison to mine. How can you possibly hope to defeat a movie franchise that earns over $100 million every year?
I see. Then the only way to defeat you is to spoil every plot twist in existence, thereby ridding the general public of any desire to see your convoluted mess of a movie series.
Of
You
course.
wouldn't dare.
Wanna bet? Snape kills Nicole Kidman is a ghost and Rosebud is the sled.
No! He's spoiling all the best plot twists.
Hello, small child. I don't suppose you've seen the plot anywhere, have you? Taya and I have been looking everywhere for it.
We're such invaluable characters. The plot
Of
can't
course.
possibly move forward without us.
Of course.
Don't worry, my big brother knows exactly where.
Shut up, Mokoba.
No, you shut up.
Oh shit.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Did you just tell an old man to shut up?
Where the hell are your manners?
Help! Somebody save me from the harmless dark energy disc that won't kill me.
Super special awesome rescue.
I say, Yugi, can I be in this?
No.
Oh, buggeration! Huh. I guess 4Kids forgot to censor them after all.
We did it again, little Yugi.
Again? Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It is not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was brought back by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Of course.
The same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul.
I guess, I guess.
Needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets. But enough of this. I'm out of here.
Hey, get back here and take your henchmen with you.
Yugi, we found you. Are we interrupting something?
This totally
I don't know.
looks like.
Yugi is so foolish thinking he can kick my ass. How can he possibly hope to compete with my army of celebrity Steves? Stone Cold Steve Austin, Steve Guttenberg, Steve Jobs, Steve Buscemi. With
Oh my
their
God, not
combined
Buscemi.
Steve power, I shall be unstoppable. Now
Of course,
watch, fangirls,
Lord
as I
Merrick.
strip. Yeah, get a load of that back. You fucking love it, don't you?
Northeastern Africa, born and raised in the palace was where I spent most of my days, chilling out max and relaxing.
Is that to his Gemma? For the Yugi the
Tylenol playing some
That is true.
inside the Nile when a couple of guys who were up to no good.
No TV and no beer make Homer something something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
Is there more?
Can I have my legs back now?
God. Poor Bakura. Personally, I feel like this episode is a bit pointless. Story-wise, abridge-wise, let's talk about the jokes. The jokes were funny, but they usually are, right? So in that, it has that going for it. But if we think about story and what happened this episode, we had Seto Kaiba do an exhibition for whatever reason. I guess, which was not something that was explained, I guess he's participating in the tournament much like any other contestant here. But that's not something that was explained to us, though you can assume that Kaiba was also participating. To be quite honest, I thought that Kaiba was just going to stay there and just appear in the finale. And if he had done that, nobody would have questioned it. Nobody, because there's no reason to. So that opening sequence feels pointless. Story-wise, again, plot-wise, feels pointless. The battle against Arcana felt a bit devoid of actual meaning and actual stakes and anything at all. It feels like it was just done to introduce Dark Magician Girl, which may be a possibility. But again, it feels like there was no real point to it. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Dark Magician Girl Taya's card? How did he get that? Or does he give it to her? I remember that something along those lines. But again, regardless of that, it didn't feel very... It didn't feel like anything was actually happening. That's the point. Plot-wise, obviously. It's just plot-wise. It just felt like a normal day in school, you know. They challenged some guys and they just kept going with their lives, but it doesn't feel like it's moving plot-wise. Now, I know that on the back of Marek's, on Marek's back, I mean, there's the tattoo that it's the complete huge rock that we saw in previous episodes, telling the story of the pharaoh and stuff like that. So we know that at the very least there was that point on the original show, but here that was taken away. So again, this episode felt a bit unnecessary, and especially the parts, you know, in which Taya and the grandfather. Again, it's commentary. It's good commentary because in the show, if this show showcases their role that episode, it feels pointless, sure. But again, in the end, it kind of feels like this episode was void of all importance and meaning and weight for the you know, the big picture of the plot. It felt like we didn't really learn anything with it. We didn't really, anything that happened was just happening. Again, like I said, the rare hunters don't feel like real threats. I never thought for a second that Yugi was going to lose, because again, there were actual stakes. If you had done a normal battle and stuff like that, but again, when it comes to cards, you know, Yugi cannot lose his most valuable card, which is Dark Magician. He can't. It's just the plot would never allow that to happen. And in the end, it wouldn't really work, I think. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like this episode was a bit mediocre when it comes to storytelling, but the rest was fine. The rest was fine. I enjoyed it really well. I liked the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Saw references. I really enjoy those. But yeah, guys, that's the episode. I'm gonna leave this up here. As always, thank you so very much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends, all that good stuff. Click the bell icon so that you can receive notifications. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!